Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Game. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button and watch the video to the end. We really do appreciate you. Okay, so Happy New Year to all you that I haven't greeted. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, and Happy New Year. I hope that your new year has started well. As for Tyson Fury, he has plenty to say about Anthony Joshua, the useless dosser. And OLEKSANDR Usyk is his latest target now, calling him a little steroid man. Happy New Year, Tyson. Hope that all is well with you and family. And I hope that you bring us even more excitement in 2022. First off, I will say this. I'm really good. I'm really happy that Tyson Fury is a part of boxing in terms of a character. You might not like him because you think he's a cheat. Well, you know, some people think that. You might not like him because he's the Gypsy King. You might not like him because he speaks his mind. You might not like him. You don't think he's fight. You think he's fat, whatever. But the one thing you can't knock about Tyson Fury is the man is a character and he understands the sales business. And I said this a long time ago, when I was talking to Tyson regularly, way when a lot of people didn't pay attention to Tyson. And he said, we're doing it was the first interview I ever did with him, with the David Price thing. And you go back and listen to that interview. And within about 10 minutes or doing this first interview, I thought, this guy gets it. He gets boxing. He gets the entertainment business. He gets it. Unfortunately, in England, he ran into a situation where he opened his mouth a bit too wide to the wrong people, and he kind of understood levels in the senses of political influence, and let's not go down there. And of course, Tyson himself got himself into a little hot situation regarding his own personal affairs in terms of PEDs and being banned and all the rest of it. So it's quite bold-faced of Tyson to talk about pointing the finger and saying that Usyk is using steroid use or he's a little steroid man. If anyone would know, it'd be Tyson Fury. So, of course, you know, that's kind of, for him to open his mouth and say that, I'm kind of wondering, well, even, and this is based on what has happened in his career, not what I think, based on him being banned for 2 years, which we try and keep that quiet because, you know, Tyson's now WWE and he's a superstar in America, blah, 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 blah. We kind of want the PR guy wants to wash that away. Tyson, what I've always gathered from this man, he is super intelligent. Super intelligent, right? And you might not like me for saying this. It is what it is. You give Jack his due. This guy is super intelligent. When you think he's saying things that are really dumb, he's one of these guys who will lead you down one path and go the other way. There's a lot of that Muhammad Ali thing there with Tyson Fury. I'm not saying he fights like Muhammad Ali, but one of the things Ali said was champion liars, champion fighters, or something along those lines, Ali said. And a lot of things Tyson does, it's very much mimicking, if not mimicking, it is Tyson made it his own way, but he has become the Ali of this era. And I don't mean it by the stuff Ali did was far more outside the ring, was far more dynamic and far more, you know, for his people and the whole thing in Vietnam. I'm not saying that, or I should say Ali-esque. the way he's able to speak and say certain things, his personality, because a lot of the heavyweight division is quite boring. You know, I could go on to about Deontay Wilder later. That's a different story. But what I mean by Tyson Fury is how he has set about, how he talks his opponents, how psychologically he gets his opponents. Psychologically, he was able to get to Deontay Wilder, you know, and make Wilder be the way he was. And he wasn't the same guy. He definitely played the games of Wilder, the mind games of Wilder. He definitely played the mind games of David Price. I remember him doing an interview with me. Go back and listen to the interview with David Price. That was David Price, who was still unbeaten. And he said, David Price is mentally very weak. He said, you see you, Price, I'm going to stick it on you. He was explaining to me. He said, you see people like David Price, when you stick it on them and put it on them, they ain't nowhere to be seen. But you see me, I'm a real fighting man. When he said that, and I listened to it, I thought, this guy gets it. So he done David Price mentally, and because at the time, again, only people that would have been around the Bayloric times would have known that Tyson Fury was going to fight Steve Cunningham, and Fury and Price were going to fight. And there was issues because Frank Miller at the time was calling Tyson Fury, Tyson was ducking Price. So I ended up setting an interview with Tyson Fury, and at the time, Franny Smith. Long story, not going into it. I'm just breaking down Tyson Fury psychologically here. But basically, Tyson was saying, you see you, I'm going to stick it on, put it on you. And when he said those things, if you remember going back, this is taking you back again, when he was sitting down with Tony Bellew at a fight. I can't remember what fight. No, he was sitting down with somebody next to him. I think it might have been the guy from Derby. Clifton Mitchell, yeah. He was sitting next to Clifton Mitchell and they interviewed him. He said, you see you, David Price. You see you big stiff plumber from Liverpool, whatever he said. That was Tyson, not only selling it, but he was sending a mental message to David Price. You see you, I've worked your number out. I know what you're about. You're not like me. Subsequently, Price and Maloney thought they were clever. So they went and took on the #1 contender, which was Tony Thompson, while Tyson was making his US debut against Steve Cunningham. Well, we all knew what happened with Tyson. Had to get off the deck and beat Cunningham. The ending was questionable. Tyson used his elbow to hold Cunningham up before throwing a right hand. Tyson himself not only had to get off the deck, but it was a difficult fight for him. And he talks about how Cunningham was probably one of his most difficult opponents to face at the time. Price went on to prove a point, or tried to prove a point. And he went and took on Tony Thompson. No business fighting Tony Thompson. Could have fought another stiff and waited for Tyson Fury. Instead, they went and fought Tony Thompson. What happened? Well, Tyson got knocked out by Tony Thompson, took a rematch and got knocked out again. Is history repeating itself? Here we are in 2022. In 2021, well, before 2021, Tyson Fury referred to Anthony Joshua as a big dosser. He's a big dosser. He's a big, useless weightlifter. That's what he said about Anthony Joshua. What does Anthony Joshua come out and say in 2022 or late 2021? Yeah, you know, I wanted to box. Yeah, I wanted to box Usyk because, you know, I just want to show that, you know, I'm not a big stiff bodybuilder. Well, you actually proved that you were a big stiff bodybuilder, and you got your ass caned by Usyk. So Tyson Fury, yet again, his words have come back to affect another fighter, which now is is now Anthony Joshua. So you can line this all up. Now he's going after Usyk. Now he's calling Usyk a steroid user. Now, why would Tyson do something like that? It's just Tyson again playing the cards, isn't it? It's just Tyson trying to be getting being sensational. But let's look at this. If you're coming from a perspective of being on BWTM, following the Usyk story of James Ali Bashir, and then the weight gain he made from where he was to where he is now to fight Anthony Joshua, and the amount of weight he piled on. Is it possible? Is it possible that Usyk did? And if that's the case, and he did put the old steroids in the system, not saying he did, is this now going to end up being a loophole for Anthony Joshua to push later on? Should they go and fight, we find out that Usyk was test positive. Is this a loophole here that Tyson's giving for Anthony Joshua? A, is that a loophole? Why would Tyson Fury mention that about Usyk? Is Usyk going to come out and deny those things? I wonder. So we have a situation here where Tyson has called out Usyk for being a steroid user. Now, I remember way back, again, this is something I said in 2021 when Tyson first met Usyk. I think it might have been when Usyk fought, was it Usyk or Lomachenko? One of those situations. Well, Tyson met Usyk in the stands. That was the first time they'd met or he'd seen one another. And I said at the time, Tyson is sizing up Usyk. He's sizing it up. Tyson's no fool. Everything he says, for the most part, is deliberate. Apart from when he's doing an interview, when he doesn't really want to do an interview and he doesn't really care. But this one here, there's strategically something going on in the background with Tyson Fury talking about this Usyk steroid thing. Does he want Usyk tested? Does he want... I mean, this is a potential fight, Usyk and himself. You know? So has Tyson got something going on in the background now to throw AJ and Usyk off? He's trying to get the Usyk fight. So there are questions to be asked. And I know for a fact Tyson said what he said strategically, and it's only a matter of time before we find out why he said what he said. As for him calling AJ a big useless dosser, and then AJ actually and a big bodybuilder, and AJ actually listening to that again proves what I've been saying about AJ all along, that he's mentally weak and he is somebody who listens to everyone's opinion, and therefore he will just do, like, he obviously must admire Tyson Fury, because why the hell would you listen to your rival and lose your belts in the process? It don't make no sense. But anyway, AJ's another video I'm going to do after this, because, you know, he's talking about the first quarter and business and all sorts of nonsense. He's talking now. Our boy needs help. He needs help. But anyway, that's another thing. So we'll see. We'll see. The jump between Usyk when he fought Chisora to the point of when he come to fought Joshua, I need to look at those weights again. But I know they did pack some more weight on for that fight. The fact of the matter is this. If he did it cleanly, it's not a problem. But if he did do it cleanly, there's a problem. Only because if Tyson knows something that I don't know, we don't know, then there'll be a problem somewhere along the line. I don't know what's going on in this heavyweight business. It's very corrupt. But what I have learned through all the years is that one of the things I have learned, is that when I do interviews, I don't do interviews just to listen to what the person has to say. I do interviews to study the character. So I know that in the future, go back on these videos, I kind of have an idea of what these people are about, what they're saying, why they're saying. That's why I give a case study. That's why I came back and gave you a story about the David Price situation back then. I gave you the Anthony Joshua situation now. So I just think let's see what he's saying here. I'm going to look at this thing about Usyk. Again, I'm not suggesting Usyk has done something, but if he has done something, the one person that would know is Tyson Fury for obvious reasons. So let me go ahead and see what Joe is saying. It says, big up. I truly believe AJ would beat Usyk hands down. And when that happens, other fighters would begin to call him out. And from then on, we would see how good Usyk is and how he would cope going forward. Joe says, Usyk being on steroids is a crazy accusation, to be honest. Usyk probably walked around 210 pounds when he was at cruiserweight. In 3 years, he gained 10 pounds. Not all muscle, okay? So, again, like I said, I'm not saying he's a cheat. I'm just repeating what Tyson said. And why is Tyson saying that? I'm not so much it's not so much what Tyson said, it's why he's saying it. What is his game plan? As this guy is a master when it comes to game plans. 3 years on roids, you could and would gain 10 pounds of muscle, stroke plus fat, Joe says. She says, he's a slightly higher body fat percentage than he was at cruiserweight. If you cycle roids for 3 years, you could weigh the same at lower body fat. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know about that in that sense. So I've just got to, you know, put my hands up and say, if that's what you're saying, then I have to go and do research it myself. But yeah, let's see what he says. Hey, Joe continues by saying, yeah, Ingram, he gained 4 pounds between Chisora and AJ, 4 pounds in 1 year. That's very reasonable. Okay, fair enough. But I just want to know why Tyson said what he said. I'm not just taking it for face value. I want to know why he said what he said and where this is leading to. Yeah, and then I'd like to know who Tyson Fury's next opponent is going to be as well. So those are my thoughts on that. Like I said, if anybody knows about anybody cheating, Fury would know. 2 years out of the ring for whatever reason he got, whether it be ball meat, I don't know, whatever it was, and he would know. Again, I don't know, and I always leave this door open. I don't know if it's because of political dark forces. He was banned for the 2 years. I don't know. And nothing ever now in boxing do I take for face value, because I said this years ago that this whole PED stunt thing can be used to destroy a person's career, because if a governing body will say, yeah, he cheated, people will just jump behind it and say, yeah, he cheated, without actually studying the facts. And again, the sport is so unbalanced. Like I've said before, Big Baby Miller supposed to pop 3 times, and he's nowhere to be seen. Yet he was talking at the great AJ and cycling in Dubai or wherever, and we haven't seen Mr. Miller since. Povetkin got caught 3 times, and he still was on pay-per-view shows. Luis Ortiz got caught, he's still on pay-per-view shows. Golovkin, Canelo got caught, he's a superstar of boxing. So there is no balance. Liam Cameron got caught with a bit of coke on him, banned for 3 years. So where are we at? Don't come and tell me about anything about governing bodies and people talking about PEDs, because to be honest, I don't know who's caught and who's been caught and it's true, and who ain't been caught and it's true. I remember a situation where they talk about Bermain Stavern. He got caught doing PEDs or some nonsense like that, and found out afterwards it was an energy drink he drank, which was really for his own benefit, not to be drinking that drink. And I can tell you firsthand, when you drink some of his energy drink, it's not good on your heart. So I'm telling you that firsthand, it's not good on your heart. And you do this, the energy drinks give you kind of manipulate your system. It makes you think you've got more than you have, and you push your body further. And that's not good on your heart, constantly putting on your heart over and over and over again. So, yeah, it's just stuff that comes out. I think to myself, that's stuff that comes out. I'm just reading stuff here. Somebody's saying here, 4 pounds, Ingram. That's only 2 times on Blob, according to Shannon Courtney. For reference, AJ gained 4 pounds in 5 months before Vlad to attack him. Okay. You are 100% right, though. Tyson always plants seeds of doubt and is the master of chat. Yeah, it's true. He is. Perhaps premature damage control from Tyson if he were to lose to Usyk in the future. Yep, that's possible. Tyson does think ahead, but never mind premature damage control here. You've got premature damage control in Tyson, in Anthony Joshua's new team, or whatever team he's got. We're going to go into that after this show. Tyson moving like he's made of Teflon, attracting attention to his own failed drug test and 2-year ban. That's what I'm saying. But why would he do that? White was caught day before and fought pay-per-view show next day. Well, there we go. Same promoter, may I say. Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin. So, best promoter in the world. I didn't say that. So, it is what it is. I don't know what Tyson's up to, but he's a cheeky little monkey, isn't he? You never know what he's going to come up with next. But I would suggest to AJ, don't listen to Tyson in the rematch. You're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Absolute Ingram, feels like you weren't seeing you in a while. I hope all is well. It is well, my brother. I'll be back in a minute to do another video. So don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments as always. Do the good stuff. And I'll see you back on another one.